Hello there guys, you're listening to Ebird Online and I'm back with another review. Sorry it's taken me so long, but I've had a terrible throat infection for the last few days and I apologise in advance for my blocked nose. I'm not gonna lie, between this and my hay fever, I feel like a walking talking sick note. But nevertheless, I'm still here, dishing the dirt on 90 Day Fiance. And I've got 4 videos on the bounce to get out, so let's get going. Before I begin, please don't forget to like, subscribe and all of that good stuff. And also you can follow me on Twitter at Ebird Online. And so without further ado, I give you Angela and Michael. And hot on the heels of Natalie, Angela this week has turned rogue. She's switched from cuddly Mrs. Doubtfire to Nanny McFucked. And this week saw not 1, not 2, but 3 segments. Either berating, bawling or bemoaning Michael. And TLC has forced us to listen to all the ridiculous outpourings of where Angela thinks all her issues and all her problems come from. Lord have mercy. At this point, TLC have led us down such a dark alley that even the vicar looks like a potential mugger. I'm seriously considering starting a campaign to free the Lagos one, i.e. Michael. So as this turgid tale of questionable plaggy surgery rumbles on, I uncover why Angela's face is covered. So for the past few weeks, we've been 1, feeling sorry for Angela because we thought the plastic surgeon did her dirty, 2, marvelling at Angela because at her age to look after 6 grandkids each and every day is quite some feat. And so we'd kind of forgotten about Angela's rough edges and Angela's acid tongue. But guys, Angela this week took us right back to square one and she reminded us all why we've never really taken to her. She has shown her true colours on many previous occasions, but she's always been charming and southern enough for us to actually forget all of her bad points, and there are many. But she put them all into one little box this week, wrapped them up and threw it like a freaking hand grenade, and it landed in Lagos. So when we first catch up with Angela this week, she's making cucumber, spinach and apple juice smoothies. And she's doing this with 2 of her granddaughters. They collectively taste the smoothie and they don't like what they taste, so they decide to add grapes. Then they scratch that and add grape jelly. What? Grape jelly? That doesn't sound great. So we don't have grape jelly in the UK, so I had to have a quick look to find out what it was. It's basically grape jam. In other words, a few grapes with a shit ton of sugar. And looking at the ingredients here, a little soupçon of corn syrup. Angela, that doesn't make anything any better. You are not supposed to be having sugar. And if you do, it should be natural sugar. This is what your doctors have told you. And it would seem Angela could not only not follow instructions, she doesn't seem to really acknowledge what the outcome of not following the instructions will be. It's not just that she won't lose weight, she'll create for herself medical problems. But with Angela, of course, that's just the tip of the iceberg. Why is that, you ask? Because Angela has started smoking again and she's smoking a pack a day. And we find out when she was talking to producers. And she explained to them how she went to the hypnotist last week and she managed to actually stop smoking. She doesn't explain how long for. It was very likely just the duration of the actual appointment. But she's very quick to blame the whole thing on Michael, and she said, because of that son of a bitchin' husband of mine, I'm back onto a pack a day. Oh Angela, is it crack you're smoking? Is that what you're smoking? It certainly must be. You're 55 years of age. You've known Michael 3 years, and you're trying to get us to believe that Michael is the reason that you're smoking. Angela, I'd like you to explain to the class exactly how Michael can get you smoking from bloody Lagos. She also tried to give the same sob story to Skylar. She said Michael wasn't one bit supportive of my surgery. And after I finished, he didn't even ring me, he hasn't been taking my calls. And Skylar said, well, very possibly he might be a little tinsy-wincy bit upset with the fact that he wanted a child and you went out and got yourself a new body with the cash. Maybe that's what he's upset by. But Angela just brushed that off and she said, I just want to be a sexy me more. Me more, oui, sexy, no. But also guys, I think there's another thing inherent here. As we know, Michael didn't agree to this whole plastic surgery thing, but Angela's her own woman and what she decides to do with her body, I think, is up to her. But let's be real, it's exceedingly likely that this plastic surgery was either free or highly discounted. If that's the case, let Michael know, so he's not sitting there turning over in his head thinking, you have spent $25,000, which is 10.2 million naira, on this surgery. I think that would wind anyone up. You're married now, you're husband and wife. So I kind of understand why he would be irritated by this egregious overspending. However, if it wasn't free and you did spend that money, that could have been money well spent on getting a surrogate for this fantasy kid you're supposed to be having. And also, very quickly, even though it's illegal for TLC to pay Michael, at this point, the only reason that you're still on the show and that you're able to make all of this money is because Michael's involved, so he should have some say on how some of the money is spent, surely. And I had a quick look, and $100 is the amount for the minimum monthly wage in Nigeria, which millions and millions of people are on. So it may well stick in Michael's throat if you have paid tens of thousands of pounds for surgery. And we finish off with Skylar, where we're kind of always at with Skylar. She says Michael might be playing my mum, and Mama doesn't deserve that. She does, Skylar, she does. Because you see, Angela and Michael are in what we call a transactional relationship. And I'll talk a little bit more about this at the end of the video. But Michael gets a green card and Angela gets someone 25 years her junior. Neither one of them is in this for nothing. But Angela's now got the bit between her teeth. Why isn't Michael calling her? She thinks he's up to something. And what's the next logical step that you would take? Well, Angela decides she's going to go and hack Michael's phone. And so Angela drives across town to the phone hacker's lair. And we can see that now she's dropped £40. Angela's now taken to dressing like an Instagram baddie. I'm so sorry. I'm trying not to laugh, but I've got the throatiest laugh at the moment. It sounds even more evil than it usually does. But Angela really did make me laugh with this little ensemble. So Angela goes in and sits down and she tells the IT nerd that she wants to spy on her husband's phone. She says he's in Lagos and I'm here. He thinks about this for a moment and says, I would do, but I can't because it's illegal. And then he tells production that it's a weird request. And the truth be told, I find this somewhat difficult to believe because I know loads of people that would love to hack their partner's phones. Sadly, I think it's a quite regular request, but I digress. He sits and tells Angela how to share location via WhatsApp. And she says, I want to just spy on him. What if I pay you double? Double what, Angela? Double the price of a facelift? Double the price of a gastric band? Double what? But he still says no, he won't do it. But then guys, Angela just turned so weird. She showed the IT nerd a picture of Michael and she said he's getting his dick sucked. And then she rang Michael and said, Michael, put on your location now. And Michael said, no, I won't. And she said, you're a nasty son of a bitch. You play the nice guy, but you're not a nice guy. I've never said I was a nice girl. I'm a straight up bitch. I was always that bitch your mama warned you about. Oh, Angela, Michael's mama never thought in her worst dreams that he'd rock up with you one day. Never in her worst dreams. But guys, she said this whole thing in front of the IT nerd. I mean, he looked as if he wanted the ground to open up and swallow him. And in the biggest understatement of all time, he tells production, it was a somewhat uncomfortable atmosphere. To say the very least. Oh my God. And then she screamed, you're an ugly son of a bitch. You're an ugly son of a bitch. But Michael fought back and he said, Angela, I am a handsome man. I shouldn't even be laughing at this argument because it was so lethal. And then Michael said, Angela, who do you think you are? Do you think you're God? Oh, Michael, I thought you'd know by now. God's answerable too, Angela. Everybody is. So Angela leaves the IT nerd without achieving her aim of getting Michael's phone spied upon. And she goes back home and she decides to call him again, to berate him yet again. And she said, I don't appreciate how you treated me when I was in surgery, and I'm not wanting to be married to you at this moment. You're an idiot and a joke, and I wish I never met you. And every time Michael tried to say something, she kept saying, shut up, and she wouldn't let him speak. And she kept saying, this is my phone call. Angela, a phone call's between two people. And guys, as far as I'm concerned, this phone call was every bit as bad as the Big Ed phone call. And the only shocking difference is that Angela knows she's being filmed. This is how she behaves when she knows the world is watching. How the hell does she behave when she's behind closed doors? And then she slammed the phone down on Michael. And Michael, obviously worried that his marriage was on the rocks and divorce was on the cards, decides to ring her back. But guys, oh God, Michael's such a clock sometimes. And when he rang back, he said, hi Angie, how is your health? There's no point asking her how she is now. Mike, it's a little too late for all of that. But by far the funniest thing about this argument was when Angela said, I should have known you were full of shit when your dick wasn't what you said it was going to be. What? She really can be just feral. Angela, when have you ever known a time when a man tells you the absolute truth about it? Never. It's never ever happened in the history of humankind. The contents of a man's boxers are virtually like the contents of a resume, 50% real and 50% what you hope to be able to achieve at some point in the future. But for what it's worth, Michael, I don't really think she's telling the truth about it. The small d slur is quite a tired old trope, but given that you've never ever mentioned it in the preceding 4 years, and in fact you've only ever given it a big massive 2 thumbs up 8 times a night, Angela, I doubt suddenly now that that's true. Nice try, but not buying it. And after a little bit more gaslighting, she starts dangling the green card in Michael's face, and she said, you need to find yourself a Nigerian woman. I'm setting you free. We're over. And Michael said, well, I'm not going to beg you. And that's where we finish the episode for this week. And so what does the Ebird make from all of this? Well, I'm disgusted really with the way that Angela spoke to Michael. You should never speak to anybody like that, much less your husband, your partner. Unbelievable. She says she's angry with him because he wasn't answering her calls, and I think it was probably a little bit mean of him to not answer as much as he should have done, but at one point he did say to her, I tried to call you and then you didn't call me back. I think Angela expects Michael to just be hanging off the end of the phone for any time she wants to speak to him. For some reason, Angela thinks she's purchased Michael. And you can really tell this because she says at the end of the segment, you can stay where you are, Michael. I'm in the land of the free, i.e. I'm in America. Again, she's just dangling that green card. But in my opinion, Angela wants a lot more in this relationship than she's ever prepared to give. She wants Michael to be at her beck and call. Even when he doesn't support decisions, he's supposed to just lie and say that he does. She promised him faithfully that one way or another, we'll find a way to have a kid. She's made literally no movement towards this, save for asking Skylar a couple of times, will you give me an egg? The answer's no. She hasn't made one other movement to doing anything about that. Does she think Michael's going to just arrive in America and forget about wanting a family? Of course he isn't. He made it very clear before they got married. But let's go back for a second to what we were talking about earlier and transactional relationships. You're both getting something from each other. And so let's not play let's pretend. Let's not try and paint this narrative that somehow Michael's a scammer and Angela's being scammed. The typical scammer pretends that you're only in love with the person, makes no demands, gets over to America and then starts demanding. Michael's been very, very upfront saying, I want a family, I want a kid, can you have a kid? So you knew Michael's requirements. Similarly, he knew your requirements. Angela wanted that hard D. Well, bad luck, Angela. He's 35 now, and it's getting softer and softer as the days go by. Michael wanted the contents of Angela's bank balance to try and buy a kid. Again, bad freaking luck. She's spent it all on both guts and tits. Similarly, Michael wanted to get to the USA. It doesn't seem like that's going too well either. You both want what you're never, ever going to get. Just as long as you know. And at this point I'm thinking maybe you should just void the transaction. Maybe a divorce is the right thing for you two. I think you're on a completely different page. So guys, let me know what you think. Do you think Angela's got any intention of having kids? I don't think so. And I think if Michael ever does get here, she'll berate him and speak to him and treat him so badly, I don't think he's going to be able to cope. So let me know what you think in comments down below and I'll get on recording my next video. So just before I leave, please, if you haven't done so yet, consider subscribing to my channel. It's fun over here. And I'm also going to be doing a short review on Love After Lockup. I just started watching, so look out for that. It's going to be podcast style. And also guys, please don't forget to smash the like button if you enjoyed the video. It really does do wonders for analytics. Thank you so much for watching. You've been listening to Ebird Online and I bid you good day.